Hi guys, hope everyone is doing well. So, in our today's session, we'll discuss about AWS S3 and its benefits. Let's wait for a couple of seconds to see if anyone else is joining. Okay, let's start. Yeah, so we'll discuss about the AWS S3 today, as I said. So, firstly, what we need to do here is we need to log into the AWS console. So once you click on sign in, you'll get these options. So today I'll show you how to log in using root user. So already I have account with me. So I'm using that account itself here. Okay. So let's continue. So this is the AWS console login. So here I'll select any one of the account. Mm, let's select this. So this is AWS console login page. So once you log in, just type S3 on top search bar. So just click on S3. It will take you to the S3 console. So once you log into the S3 console, we have multiple options here like buckets, access grant, access point. So I'll explain about each and every topic here. So firstly, we'll discuss about the buckets. So basically, we have an option to create the buckets. So at first, what you need to do here is you need to log into the AWS console first, and then it'll display the page like this. And click on create bucket. So it'll ask the region to select. So in AWS, we have multiple regions like we have Asia Pacific, United States, Africa, Canada, Europe. So so you can select any one of the regions. So at the moment, what I'm doing is Mumbai is nearby to us, right? So that's why I'm selecting Mumbai. So always remember that S3 bucket is unique. So once you create any S3 bucket in your AWS console, you can't create you can't create the S3 bucket with same name again. Okay, so either in this AWS account or in any of the AWS account until or unless you keep that S3 bucket live in your AWS account. So while giving the naming convention to S3 bucket, you should always use lowercase letters. So S3 bucket won't take the uppercase letters. Remember this point as well. So I'll give this session name as Nasir S3 live space. So I'm giving today's date. So if you have any, if you want to copy any of the existing bucket permissions, then you can choose this S3 bucket so that automatically the permissions will get applied to that to the newly created AWS S3 buckets. So also we have object ownership. So object ownership is nothing but we have access control list. So for example, if you want to control the access control list of particular objects or any of the things, so then you can enable or disable this. So at the moment I'm disabling, and this is the most important thing. So if you block public access setting for this, so that outsiders like whoever is accessing your S3 bucket, they can't able to access, so you'll get a denied error. So if you enable this public access, then anyone from the world can access your S3 bucket from anywhere. So this is one of the main security features that AWS is providing to restrict our S3 buckets to access publicly. So keep this as keep this disable at the moment. So I'll show you like how we can enable this public access again by writing the bucket policy. So this is about the bucket versioning. So if you want to keep the versions like version 1, version 2, version 3, so you can manage those versions as well. So at the moment I'm not using it. So you can write, you can specify the tags as well. So you can give any name like Nasir demo. So I'm giving this name, and we have the encryption option as well available. So basically AWS will be providing an encryption keys by default. So either you can use the AWS encryption keys, or you can use your own custom managed keys as well. So it depends on you like how you want to go with. And you can enable this. So I'm using currently AWS encrypted keys. Click on advanced settings. So here you'll get the object lock option. So what is mean by object lock? So store objects using a write once, read many. Okay, so basically once you enable this option, right, this object will be permanently locked, which means that it will protect the S3 bucket by someone might be deleted. Someone will try to delete your objects in S3 bucket. So if you enable this object lock, then the users or anyone can't be able to delete the objects in the S3 bucket until or unless you disable it. So currently I'm disabling it. Now click on create bucket. Now our S3 bucket has been created. So this is our newly created S3 bucket. So just click on that S3 bucket. It will take you into the console. Again, we have different option here. So in this section, you can upload any of the files or folders from your local machine to S3 bucket here. So if you want to upload that, just click on upload. So and if you want to add file, click on add file. If you want to click on add folder. So currently I'll click on add files. So this is I'm selecting one of the AWS logos. So one you can select like this, and you can select the destination as well. So these all are the default settings that we have created while deploying this 3 bucket. So also you can check the permissions. So basically we have kept this bucket as we have blocked the public access so that no one can be able to access your S3 bucket. So these all are the properties. And here we have multiple storage classes available in S3 bucket. So it's again a huge topic. So currently I'm not going to explain about this difference because it's gonna take some time to explain you guys the different storage classes that is available in AWS S3 console. So you can enable this server side encryption key as well. So if you want to do that, you can do it. Again, this is if you're going to make this S3 bucket as a URL that you want to share with any of any of the users, so that you can give this option to them. And metadata also is add metadata. So if you want to add metadata, you can create this user defined or system defined. So this metadata is helpful to identify your objects time and date. For example, you want to upload any one of the objects that is available in your local machine to S3 bucket. Once you upload into the S3 bucket, right? So that object time and date will be the present time and date whenever you're going to upload, right? So it will take the time and date of that particular for that particular object. So for example, if you want to maintain the same date and time that is available in your local system for that particular object, you can select this metadata option, but it's not required at the moment. Click on create upload. I'll remove this create upload. So yeah, now my local file has been uploaded into the S3 bucket. So click on configuration. So here you'll get the object URL. So if you want to share this public access to any of your users, you can do that. Just click here, copy paste. So you can't able to access it because we have given this S3 bucket uh, as a we have not given this S3 bucket public access, right? So that's why it won't get displayed over here. So my file has been successfully uploaded. Now let's check other options that is available over here. So click on properties. So under properties, it will list down all the details about the S3 bucket, like which region it resides, and the ARN is nothing but a Amazon resource name. Okay, Amazon is giving for every service. This is a standard naming convention for ARN. So remember that. So this is the creation date. So we have created. So that's why it is showing this date. Now come down. So you have tag server. So all the details will be displaying over here. So if you want to create the notifications, like whenever users, any of the IAM users deleting or uploading anything into this S3 bucket, so you can create this event so that you'll get a email notification or SMS notifications. So that you'll be aware of it, like which user is modifying what. So this is about the AWS S3 bucket. So this is also a important thing, static website hosting. So for example, if you want to provide this S3 bucket URL to any one of the users to access from their local machines or mobiles. So this S3 bucket will create a website for them, or like one of the website, in the sense like it will create a URL for them to access that particular object. So to enable this, just click on edit. So enable. So it'll ask a host a static website redirect request. So it'll ask multiple questions here. Just type index.html. So I'm just giving the basic things. So if you want to configure any of your applications to redirect, so you can configure, do that as well. But at the moment I'm not doing, I'm just clicking on save changes. Now our static website has been created. So if you want to, whatever the object I have uploaded into this S3 bucket, if you want to access that object from your mobiles or laptops from anywhere in the world, just type this URL, so that it'll it'll show you that particular object. But currently it is not showing here because I have not made this S3 bucket as a publicly accessible. As I said initially, we'll get an error. So the same error we are getting here. That means our S3 bucket permissions are working fine. So we should get this error whenever we are not making the S3 bucket as a public access, okay, publicly accessible. Now I'll show you like how to make the S3 bucket as publicly accessible. So for that, what we need to do here is we just click on permissions here. See, the access level is bucket and objects are not public. Okay. So to enable this, what we need to do here is click on edit. So just uncheck this box and click on save changes and type confirm, just for confirmation. Sorry, I'm weak in typing. Confirm. Click on confirm. So this will get changed. And if you refresh this page, that object will load now. But still it's not loading, which means that still S3 bucket is not publicly accessible even after making this block all public access. For that, to make this S3 bucket publicly accessible, what we need to do here is we need to write the bucket policy. Okay. So you'll get the bucket policy here. I'll show you like how we will get the bucket policy. Just I'll paste that script over here. So for this, what we need to do here is we need to build one pub policy here. So either you can click on example policy generator, policy examples or policy generator. So we'll get all the AWS websites over here. So I'll give star here, and actions is all actions, all services. So here we have to select first S3 bucket policy. So we have to give the principal as star and all actions. So ARN of that particular S3 bucket which we have. So here you'll get the ARN of that particular S3 bucket. Give that ARN, click on add statement. So this will generate the generate policy. So this is the policy which I'm going to use. Copy this and go back here, click on paste. This is how we have to create the policy. Click on save changes. So once you are done with it, so now our bucket is publicly accessible, and let's check if this is loading fine or not now. Still it's not loading, so we have to troubleshoot it now. So getting errors is good because we'll learn something from that errors. So this is the documentation of AWS, like which we use basically to load the URL to make the S3 bucket as publicly accessible. So for resources, the star is not taking. Okay. Click on edit. S3 action should be like this. Click on save changes. Again an error expired. Again we got an error here. Good, we are getting an errors. Still the website is, we are getting 403 denied error. Click on edit. So remove this. Save changes. Let's check if it is working fine or not. Still this is not working. Let's block all the settings. Still we are getting access denied because we have been restricting the S3 bucket to access publicly, right? So that's why we are unable to access this URL. So click on properties, go to the static website, click on static website, static hosting enable, request redirecting, none. Click on host static website, index.ml, click on save changes. So this will be saved now. Click on this, but still we are unable to access because the public S3 bucket is not publicly accessible. That's why we are unable to do it. We are unable to access this. Now I'll give one more policy. Just be with me for a second. If we have to make this S3 bucket as publicly accessible, AWS, just type here. Okay, just open braces. Okay. I don't have an access to make this public S3 bucket publicly accessible, so that's why I'm not unable to make it. So this is how save changes. I'm getting this error. Now make this S3 bucket as publicly accessible. Confirm. Now I made this S3 bucket as publicly accessible. Click on properties. Click on access point. So it will display about the access level, manage access level points, like how we have been created it. So here we have about lifecycle rules, we have replication rules, and we have inventory configuration. So what is mean by lifecycle rules? So for example, we have uploaded one object today, and we want to keep that S3 bucket object to be in a S3 standard storage class. Then we have to select, we have to create the lifecycle rules. So what this lifecycle rule will do is it will move the particular S3 bucket objects from one storage class to other storage class. So to configure that, we have to use this create rule option and click on traces. So here you'll see the storage details, like how many, what is the size of the total S3 bucket, how many, what is the count of the objects. So everything you can able to see here. So to monitor the details in depth, so what you need to do here is you need to click on CloudWatch. So you can monitor these matrices through CloudWatch as well. Click on objects. So this will take you to the object, and this is the object that we have currently. So click come here and type it, paste it. So this is the access denied via error we are getting because the S3 bucket is not still publicly accessible. That's why we are unable to browse this URL. Okay, hope this session is useful now. So I think you might have learned something about the S3 bucket, how to make this S3 bucket as publicly accessible, and how to end up this how to check this URLs and everything. Like you might have at least get an basic idea about the S3 buckets by now. So we'll see you in the next class. Till then, bye guys. Take care.